welcome back to the Metroid Prime commentary. Well, playthrough, I guess. In the last part, we have gotten the wave beam. In this part, well, what are we doing in this part? I don't know. I haven't watched the final footage ahead of time, that way I can be slightly more surprised. But if I... Actually, I did. I'm lying. Transmutation? I don't know why I brought up that random Hunter x Hunter reference, but I did! Okay, so in this part we're going to be exploring the Space Pirates base, I guess you can say. Well, not base. Their laboratory that's located in the Phendrana Drifts, so we're not going far by any means. Thankfully, with the space jump, we are able to make this overly long jump, and there we go. I probably should turn up the volume slightly more, that way I can hear the background music. Because the Phendrana Drifts is actually indeed one of my favorite renditions in this game. And my PC just started picking up power. I honestly don't know why. I mean, if I was doing Kingdom Hearts then it makes sense, but at the moment I'm not. So, Shriek Bats! Scan these bastards before you even make one last movement in this area. Remember, guys, after you enter the Space Pirates laboratory, well, that's what I'm calling it at the moment. I don't remember what it's called, but after you enter there, you can't scan the Shriek Bats ever again, even in the Wii version. They fixed this in the PAL version, but I'm not playing the PAL version. I'm playing the Wii version. Speaking of which, I should probably take the homebrew channel off my Wii and whatnot if I ever plan to sell it. Why? Because the Wiis actually go for quite a lot of money on eBay. I guess because people just don't want to spend that much money for a Wii U when not too many things are out for it. Makes sense. But then again, many things are out for the Wii U that, in comparison to any of the next-gen consoles like the PS4 and whatnot. Which to this day, I still think is a waste of money, because, like, seriously, what is legitimately on the PS4 right now? I mean, you got Watch Dogs and whatnot. Alright, that's great, but that's not much. In any case, here's another thing that you can break with the Ice Beam. I mean, not Ice Beam, Plasma Beam, my bad. Ooh, Jake. Sorry about that. You know, I kind of find it... I don't know where I'm getting into this, but I find it kind of... Oh, actually, I should bring up the significance of this room. So basically, you're using these speed booster platforms to raise the water level, and the level of the whole iceberg. Yeah, to raise the water level and to open these things up so that they can raise the water level, so that you can raise these random icebergs, so that... How many times did I use the word "so that" and whatever? So that, well, you can get better footing. In any case, I don't know why, but... Oh, now I know why, because I used to play this level all the time back when I was in York, or New York, I should say. But, because Pizza Hut was the only pizzeria, like, in a 10-mile radius of the apartment we were staying in, we always got Pizza Hut, and honestly, yes, it was oily as hell, but you know, I was a kid, I didn't mind it too much, but then, you know, Little Caesars came back from the dead, and because I remember, I don't know why, but there was a short time in by the time I was in New York, where Little Caesars just stopped existing, and, you know, Pizza Hut was all that was there. And they were the only pizzeria that didn't charge about $20 per box, so, yeah, there's another reason. Sorry, my throat's getting a bit dry. But yeah, and when not Pizza Hut, Little Caesars came back, for some reason, my dad, it wasn't like we poured water on the pizza and watched it grow and then started eating it. But for some reason, whenever my dad and I used to get a Little Caesars from a sort of corner area, we'd always get, like, it was a filled up on bread type of scenario. I had no idea why, but my dad and I would always get filled up on bread whenever we had a Little Caesars pizza. Which I guess you can say is an advertisement, but I don't know. I'm just, saying. In any case, the room back there is a save room, which, honestly, well, you really need to head to, especially if you're going to go into the Space Pirates laboratory. I don't know why I started calling it laboratory. I used to call it laboratory, but... Well, then again, why do some people call Sonic 3's level Hydrocity instead of Hydro City? The mystery of the world. Well, that aside, whoa, some choppy frame. Well, that, again, could be my computer. It has been acting up a bit lately. The exact same with my voice. But I recommend that you be cautious in this area because a space pirate will ambush you the moment you enter in. So, be cautious, and there he is. Now, I immediately try to scan him, which is stupid because he's bongling me in the corner. There we go. Back off! Step off! Ugh. But yeah, now we're in space pirate turf. And you really, really want to be careful of these guys. I also recommend that you also have your wave beam out, because it temporarily stuns enemies, which can prove to be helpful. Oh, and we have these bastards. I don't know why I decided to talk in Scottish accent there, but those bastards will lock the door and seal you into a room, which eventually they will get their own upgrades so that they fight you instead of bringing random space pirates, but not yet. Now, again, even though the wave beam is the weakest of the beam power-ups, it can still stun enemies, which makes it useful. By the way, don't use any of your missiles here. Again, they do have heat-seeking properties, or seeking rather properties, but you're just gonna be wasting them. Also, the Space Pirates battle theme, one of my favorite battle themes ever. Be back in a quick second. I'm going to take a sip of water. Alright, now I feel better. Now I feel like I'm playing with power. Nintendo power. God, I can't believe that series has finally stopped. And it has such a long run, too. But then again, you can say the same for Hunter x Hunter, because that series has finally stopped. By the way, map room. Scanning it for data log entry. But yeah, Hunter x Hunter has finally stopped. 148 episodes. I mean, they're not pulling a Bleach on us by, padding it out with pointless amounts of filler, which I salute you for, Yoshiro Togashi. Thank you. Thank you for not pulling a One Piece, Naruto, Bleach, and any other popular anime series that has a bunch of action in it. Thank you. But because of that, he wants to tell his own story without putting in any pointless fillers. It doesn't leave much room for the series to continue, especially since he 2, 3, 4 months ago he legitimately got back into the series and started writing it again. which honestly, I respect. I mean, I'm probably going to bring this up a lot of times, but I'd rather that, you know, the creator of the series take a break and, you know, doesn't try to have it done every week. You know, take a break, step back, think about what you're doing and whatnot. But that aside, we are now deep in the Space Pirates territory. Now we are in, well, their main labs, where, if you look closely, you can see them cultivating Metroids. No, they are not mock droids that go down one hit depending on, well, not depending on whatever beam you have. These are legitimate Metroids and I hate them. God, if you ever heard from your friend there is nothing more scary than seeing a Metroid's ass, well, he's not lying. Trust me, especially since it's a first-person shooter game. It's not as scary if you're playing one of the 2D games, but again, first-person Metroid game, and you know, you probably are so into it. You're leaning forward, eyes wide open, making sure you're not missing anything. Then Metroid attacks, and by God, when it latches onto you, you have the biggest heart attack of, well, heart palpitation rather, of your life. By God. But other than that, they're not the biggest threats. I mean, you can shoot them down with any beam, especially since you don't have the, you know, whole ice beam thing. By the way, I think there are two different versions of the Space Pirates battle theme that they play. One being the one they're hearing now, that actually sounds like a horror theme, nonetheless. And then the one that kind of fades into it, like the that one. At least that's what I think, anyways. But it's also a very good way of telling you that there's still threats in this room. By the way, that capsule right there on top, be sure to throw a missile at it, because in there is a missile expansion that I forgot you could hit with tanks. I mean, not tanks. You see Samus just roll up here in a giant tank. No, actually, that wouldn't be. I wouldn't roll that past her, but I forgot you can hit it with a missile. Excuse me. Also, I recommend that you don't hit any of the other pods with missiles, mainly because I don't know at this point if they finished cultivating the Metroid. So I'd rather you guys not take that risk, especially like if it's right in front of your face. Excuse me. Sorry, I had a lot of gas backed up today. I didn't have my refill of soda yet. Man, I wish I had some Pepsi right next to me. By the way, if you take out any of the missile launchers, quote unquote, with a beam, oh, man, that did a better jump scare than any of the Resident Evil games could. But in any case, if you take out any of the turrets, rather, with any type of beam, they will start spazzing out, and, yeah, be careful. That's another reason why I recommend you take them out with the missiles. Good old 1-2. Now, in this room, I actually think is where Transformers Fall of Cybertron kind of ripped off it, because besides the whole fact that in that game you can't scan, you know, the moment when you do scan is actually where you're gonna be like, oh, yeah, that's kind of like that's reminiscent of Transformers Fall of Cybertron, yeah. And another thing I don't like is when people say, hey, they ripped that off from Transformers Fall Cybertron, or something ripped off this from a new game. No, the older game obviously came out with it first. I know that's kind of a pet peeve of mine because, you know, this generation doesn't like to go for older games. They like to go for the new suckier games that are pretty much just hold your hands type of you know, scenario. But I'm a fan of older games. Actually, that's why I don't play any newer games on the PS4 or whatnot. Mainly just stick to the roots of the situation. By the way, here comes like a brain fart moment. I try to go up the other side using this way, when in actuality I'm supposed to use that platform that they already give me right there to go up it. So I have to go left, have to go left, have to go that way, that way, that way. There we go. Yep, and I'm still making the exact same mistake. Well, you know what they say, third time's the charm. I don't know why I didn't edit this out. Maybe because I really thought I could have made it that way. Ah! Talk about one step forward and 2 steps back. And... booyah! And just to answer your question, yes. The thing that you scanned before and the thing that you scan now are 2 separate things. I know I could have worded that better, but yeah, they are 2 completely separate scannable objects. And there we go. And insert Samus's hit list. Gonna destroy that planet, that planet, that planet. Definitely gonna destroy that planet. And we're almost to our first beam expansion. So if you actually look at the planets that are highlighted in red, they are the planets that Samus will visit, have visited, and will visit in the future. The ones that are highlighted in red anyways. I don't remember Samus ever visiting a planet Dormine. But that is the planet Zebes, or Zebes, or whatever you want to call it. And this one is... I don't know what it is. Well, whatever it was a planet that Samus will in turn visit in the future. Not all the planets though, because remember Metroid Prime 3 isn't out yet. I mean, it is out yet. I meant to say Metroid Prime 4 doesn't exist, and there is no news for a new Metroid game, so boo-hoo. As I said before, it's time for our first beam expansion, the Super Missile! Alright, now how the Super Missile works is you hold down the A button, and while holding it down, you press the back button on the D-pad in order to get it to, well, fully charge like that. Honestly, it's my most used missile expansion, but that's only because in comparison, everything else is not that good. So, without further ado, I'm about to end the part. I am back at level 100 signing out. Hope you all enjoyed the part, and, well, bye guys. I said, bye guys.